Hello friends, welcome to this new video on the daily news analysis by Daily Shots. And in this video today we are going to decipher some of the relevant topics on UPSC perspective from the pages of editorial op-ed International Economy from The Hindu. Come, let's go into the session.
Taiwan's coronavirus protocol shows how it is done. So, here in this article, the author tries to explain what are the strategies which Taiwan has used for confronting this coronavirus. So, as the first part, he explains the ease of the international transportation had made this rapid spread around the world, and it had made to thread the industries like the health, economy, trade, and tourism, etc. So, as an example, he shows the Spanish flu of 1918, the severe acute respiratory syndrome in 2003, H1N1 influenza of 2009, and also the Middle East respiratory syndrome MERS in 2012, Ebola in West Africa in 2014, and Zika virus in Central and South America in 2015 and 16. So, as on the WHO's report, as on April 8, 2020, this disease had claimed 1.35 million people that they have been affected by this disease, and 79,235 deaths in 211 countries or areas or territories. Since it had been 17 years since Taiwan was hit hard by SARS outbreak, Taiwan is in a constant readiness to threat of emerging infectious diseases, and they are implementing the present aggressive strategic and efforts to control the epidemics, and it is also working. So the strategies like they have implemented onboarding quarantine for the flights which had directly come from Wuhan from the day when it had received the information, that was on December 31st, 2019. And also Taiwan, second point, they have implemented a response team for the disease and activated the central epidemic command center, and they have moved the government's entity levels from 3 to upgrading it to level 2 and level 1. So this central epidemic command center is able to effectively integrate resources from various ministries and invest itself fully in the containment of this epidemic disease. So, in the part of harnessing the technologies and using it for the control of this disease, Taiwan had used technology very well, like in the quarantining measure and including onboarding quarantining of people, fever scanning, healthcare declaration, and the 14-day home quarantine for passengers arriving from nations which it had listed under level 3 warning. And they have used established electronic system for entry of quarantine people, which allows passengers with the local mobile numbers to fill in the health information using this mobile phone. So once this mobile phone number had been got, the healthcare declaration had been sent to this number. So with this number, they had been connected with the support management system of the community, which allows the government agencies to provide care services and the medical assistance. And also the travel history of the individual had been stored on the national health insurance card to alert the physicians to possible cases and prevent community transmissions. And for the people undergoing the quarantine or isolation, the government is working with the telecom operators to provide GPS connection and to locate their locations, and necessary mandatory rules had been put ahead of these quarantine people. Taiwan additionally had increased its laboratory testing capacity, where it had expanded the scope of surveillance and the inspection based on trends of COVID-19 epidemic. And they have also retested people with complications of higher or the symptoms of severe influenza, and the community cases with upper respiratory tract infections were also being monitored. Additionally, they have stopped the export of surgical masks and expanded the production of domestic mask production. And also, they have made 50 regional hospitals to become a tie-up hospital, and separate the COVID treating patients along with the other individuals who are taking regular checkups. so that they are prevented from the hospital developed infections. And also having a tie-up with the National Healthcare Insurance Center, the pharmacies and the public health agencies which are connected with the NHI, the government had launched a name-based rationing system where the mask had been provided to the people from the registered pharmacies or the public health agencies. So by this effective measures, they are able to achieve the effective allocations of limited resource and meet their healthcare needs. So, as on whole, the Taiwan has fulfilled its responsibility as a global citizen and abided by the International Health Regulations 2005, and in notifying the WHO of the confirmed COVID-19 cases. And also, the Taiwan had communicated with other countries like Japan, Singapore, Korea, Malaysia, Philippines, US, Canada, Italy, France, and other nations to share information on confirmed cases, travel and contact histories of patients, and border control measures. So, Taiwan had uploaded the genetic sequence of COVID 19 to the Global Initiative on Sharing All Influenza Data, which is spelled as GISAID initiatives. So, the Taiwan had worked with the global partners to respond to the threat of COVID 19 to ensure the global health is not um, subsided by the lack of communication and transparency. So, the author urges World Health Organization and the related parties to acknowledge Taiwan as the long-standing contribution to the international community in the area of public health, disease prevention, and the human right to health, and asking to include Taiwan in the World Health Organization and its meetings, mechanism, and activities. So, Taiwan will continue to work with the rest of the world to ensure that all enjoy the fundamental human right to health as stipulated in World Health Organization Constitution. It's about food, nutrition, and livelihood security. In this article, the author explains the need of food, nutrition, and livelihood security, which are the main points to be taken care during this pandemic situation. So the author prescribes the four important points which has to be taken care to deal with this COVID-19. First, the issues with the farming sector. Labor shortages and the demand for seeds and which are expensive and are also unavailable. So problems with supply chains which are not fully functional poses a big problem, and also the pricing is not remunerative, and the public procurement is also not adequate. So the absence of demand and the lack of storage of the additional facilities for the perishable commodities faces a big problem for the farmers. And there is the unknown impacts which are waiting for the kharif sowing season and the food availability in the future. So the second point he emphasizes is to widen the food basket. So basically, the access to food through National Food Security Act, that is NFSA, and the PDF needs to be strengthened with other parts like providing millets, pulses, and oil, because they are the micronutrients which are required in the daily diet. And during this season, where the closure of schools and Angalwadi centers had become usual, this disrupts the midday meal, which is the life cycle approach advocated in the NFSA. So, because the first 1,000 days in the child's life is the period where the cognitive abilities of the child are shaped. Job security is the next point to be noted, where a special concern is required in the case of primary products, where the example is quoted with the rice biopark, which is in Myanmar, where the straw bran and the entire biomass are being utilized, and also the Amul product, where the dairy sector of the improved incomes sector of the product had improved the incomes to the milk producers through the value addition. So the extra value addition is required in the primary products and the primary products manufacturing sectors to ensure the job securities. The women farmers are at the forefront of the horticulture, and so they require a special attention uh, in both the aspect of their technological and economic empowerment during this crisis. And as a third point, the author prescribes the work nature under the Mahatma Gandhi's National Rural Employment Guarantee scheme, where he says there has been the nature of the work as defined to the unskilled manual work and not to the skilled jobs in agriculture and allied activities. So this needs to be redefined. So to cover the skilled work related to farmers and their farming activities, particularly important for the women farmers and the workers, are required. At last, the author focuses on the non-food factors as well. So he ensures he adds to ensure the sanitation, drinking water, and other non-food factors, including the public health services. So, as a summation, if we can ensure the food availability, food access, and food absorption, we can have a fairly robust system of food and nutrition security. So, as a history of India, where it avoided the big famine in 1960, which is supposed to have happened through the help of technology and public policy, which actively worked with and supported farmers to achieve the significant increase in the field. So, quoting this as an example, the combination of farmers' cooperation, technological upgrading, and favorable public policies in the procurement, pricing, and distribution will help to deal with the COVID-19, is what the author suggests. Omnious contraction. In this editorial, the author speaks about a steepest fall in the core sector's output in at least the last 8 years, which signals out a prolonged economic pain. So, according to the Commerce Ministry's report, 8 industries comprising the 8 core sectors shrank in its output in this March, and its contracted output is valued to be 6.5 percentage in the month of March. So, the petroleum refineries is down by 0.5 percentage, and the electricity by 7.2, and the steel production to 13 percentage. And these all reflects the underlying stress which is present in the economy, so much to be staggered in the demand side. So the demand for electricity declined by more than 9 percentage in the month of March, as per the report from the National Load Dispatch Center. And as far as the coal is concerned, its output expanded in the month of March by 4 percentage. And on the construction part, the construction sector had been hit hard, may also be expecting a serious labor supply issues even after the economy gradually reopens. So the April's overall core output appears to be even sharper contraction, and the 8 major industries having a weightage of 40.3 percentage in the broader index of industrial production, it is certain to drag industrial output as a whole into a negative territory, which shows that it moves in the path of negative projection. So, as a solution, the author says the center is to massively lift public spending on infrastructure once the lockdown eases in order to revive the reading economy.
And that's all for today's news analysis, and I hope this video will help you to understand the major articles and other editorial sections of this paper. And the other news articles had been converted in the form of PDF, and the link had been given in the below description. Please do provide your comments and feedback. Thank you friends, stay home and stay safe.